Come into constructive rest pose on your back. So the knees are bent, the soles of the feet are on the mat, and they're wide towards the edges of the mat. And then you just allow the knees to fall in towards one another. Constructed rest is an amazing posture to begin your yoga flow with because it helps alleviate pressure on the low back. So here we come to our breath. Noticing each inhale and exhale. Taking any adjustments that will allow us to settle in more, to find stillness in this moment. And in this stillness, where do you notice movement? Do you feel it in the nostrils? Maybe in the chest? Possibly in the side body? Or maybe the movement is most noticeable for you in the belly as it moves up with each inhale and down with each exhale. Take two more full deep rounds of breath here. Find your next inhale. And on your exhale, lift both soles of the feet off the mat. Allow the thighs to rest on top of the belly. The hands may rest on top of the shins, but if that doesn't feel accessible today, go ahead and lift the soles of the feet up towards the sky a bit. Bring the hands to the back of the kneecaps onto the thighs, and then bend the knee again. So you might find more ease with the hands here. And you can rock a little to the right and a little to the left, showing some love to the low back. And if you like to explore, you can begin drawing circles with the knees in one direction. And so we'll take two or three on in both directions. After you complete this next circle, begin going in the opposite. Massaging the low back into the mat. And we'll meet at center when we complete this next circle. Take a deep inhale. And on your exhale, release the legs. Let the soles of the feet come down to the mat. Extend the legs long along the mat. The arms come long as well, up and overhead along the mat. And we are taking our first full body stretch for this practice, sending the toes and fingertips in opposite directions. Deep inhale. And exhale with the audible sigh. We're going to explore different ways to be in banana pose today. So to start, we'll walk our heels over towards one corner of the mat. And we'll pause here for 3 deep breaths. You can release the arms down to the floor if they're hanging in the air. Notice how the breath moves in this first banana shape. And find your next inhale. And on your exhale, walk the shoulders over towards the left corner of the mat. Ooh. And find your next inhale. And you can stay in any of the previous shapes, but if you like to add in, you can cross the inside ankle over the ankle that's closest to the edge of the mat. And we'll take 3 deep breaths here. Find your next inhale. Now you can stay in any of the 3 previous shapes. And if your body feels comfortable adding a bit more, you can take that outside hand and clasp the wrist of the inside hand and gently guide it a little bit more towards the outside of the mat. And as you stay with your breath here, in whichever option you chose, notice where the sensations arise in the side body. And find your next inhale. On your exhale, release the clasp of the hands. You can begin to walk the shoulders back to center. Release the cross of the ankles and walk the heels back to center. Take a full body stretch, sending the toes and fingertips in opposite directions. Deep inhale. And exhale with an audible sigh. And we'll begin on the opposite side. Walk the heels towards the opposite corner. And find your 3 deep breaths here. And on this side, let's begin to extend the exhale. Can you make it twice as long as your inhale? So if my inhale is a 4 count, my exhale is a 8 count. Find your next inhale. And you can stay here, or you can cross that inside ankle over the ankle closest to the outside of the mat. 3 deep breaths again with the extended exhales. I'm breathing in for 4 and exhaling for 8. One more deep round of breath. Now I'm walking my shoulders towards the top corner of the mat on the same side. And I'm here for 3 extended, 3 deep breaths with extended exhales. The extended exhales tells our nervous system that it's okay to slow down. It's okay to rest and digest. Find your next inhale. And on your exhale, you can take your hand that's near the outside of the mat and clasp the fingers around the wrist of the opposite hand and gently guide that hand a little more towards the outside edge of the mat. You don't have to pull or force. It's actually more nourishing to notice where the sensations start to activate and hold there in sacred stillness. 3 deep breaths with extended exhales. Find your next inhale. And on your exhale, release the clasp of the wrist. Walk your shoulders back to the center of your mat. Release the cross of the ankle And walk your heels back to the corner of your mat. Send your fingertips and toes in opposite directions for another full body stretch. Deep inhale. And exhale with the audible sigh. We're going to bend the knees again, placing the soles of the feet on the mat. You might lift the hips up off the mat just a little bit and then set them back down so that your low back is flat on the mat. Take a deep inhale here. And on your exhale, lift the sole of the foot off the mat and cross the ankle over the knee. Coming into your figure four with your legs. Take a deep inhale. Extended exhale. You might want to rock a little to the right and a little to the left. Massaging the low back again. You can explore. So this figure four, we're going to continue exploring. You can explore with some ankle circles in one direction and ankle circles in the opposite direction. You can stay here with sacred stillness or movement in the ankles, your choice. If you'd like, you can take a deep inhale. And on your exhale, lift the sole of the foot off the mat. Interlace the hands around the thigh. One hand goes through the legs, the opposite hand goes around the thigh, and you clasp the fingers behind the thigh. So this is one option to explore, feeling the tightness in the hips here. And you can rotate both ankles in circles now in one direction and in the opposite if you like. Getting those snap, crackles, and pops out. And you might want to rock again, a little to the right, a little to the left. Choose what's best for your body, what feels most nourishing, not challenging, but restorative, releasing. Whew. And when you are ready, go ahead and find stillness here. Release the soles of the feet down to the mat. And we'll switch sides. Cross the ankle over the knee. And hold for a few breaths, allowing the knee to fall out to the side. Allowing our body to decide, what does it want next? Does it want to stay in sacred stillness? Does it want some single ankle rotations here in one direction? And in the opposite? Does it want to rock a little to the right? And a little to the left? Massaging the low back on the mat. Does it want to return to any of those previous options? If so, you are your guide. Listen to your body. Does the body want you to lift the sole of the foot off the mat and interlace the hands behind the thigh? Flex those feet, pointing the toes to the sky. Pausing and holding here in sacred stillness. Just noticing, giving time and space to the hip tightness in the hip joint, maybe. If you feel that, breathe with it. Bringing back that extended exhale. Maybe you want those ankle circles again in one direction and in the opposite. And or you want to rock a little to the right. Ooh. I felt that tightness. And a little to the left. Been doing a lot of sitting lately. This is such a great posture if you do a lot of sitting. Release the tightness in the hips after a long day of sitting at work. So whatever you're doing, take 2 more deep breaths to explore your figure 4 in the way that feels most nourishing for you today. And when you are ready, no rush, we will bring both feet down to the mat. And drop both knees to the left and both knees to the right. No need to bring them all the way down to the mat if you don't want to. It's just very gentle. And we'll meet at center. Bring the arms out to shoulder height. Let them rest on the ground. Take a deep inhale. And on the exhale, lift the soles of the feet off the mat, stacking the knees above the hips, 90-degree bend. Toes are pointing towards the sky. And here you might rock a little to the right and a little to the left and a little to the right and a little to the left. And you can keep rocking, or you can let both knees drop to one side. Coming into your reclined twist. If you have an eye mask for this session, this is a great time to go ahead and put that eye mask on. I'm going to pull my headband down. Oh, this is so relaxing. We'll take 4 deep breaths here. Those extended exhales. Find your next inhale And on your exhale, lift one knee at a time, coming back to that 90-degree bend, flexed ankles, toes to sky. We might rock again, a little to the right and a little to the left, massaging the low back. And when you are ready, we will drop both knees over towards the opposite side, coming into our reclined twist. And tune into your low back and your low twist, your reclined twist. If it's feeling like too much tightness or tension, drop the knees away from the arm. And if you're wanting to feel a little bit more, see what happens if you walk the knees towards your top arm. And you can stay here and you can go a little bit more in this twist if the body feels okay by turning the head towards the opposite hand. Four deep breaths here with your extended exhales. Notice where you might be holding tight and invite your body to release, to let go. One more exhale. Lift your gaze up towards the sky and lift one knee at a time. Come back to center. Rock a little to the left and a little to the right. Massaging the low back. You can keep your eye mask or headband on your eyes if you like as we come into Shavasana. So extend the legs long. Bring the heels towards the corner of the mat. The arms can rest wherever they like. Hands on the belly, shoulder height T shape. Feel free to take up as much space as you can here in your Shavasana today. Or if you're laying in bed for this bedtime reset, allow yourself to take your sleeping posture. And while you're there, keep moving with your breathing with your extended exhales. You can stay here in Shavasana for as long as you like. You don't even have to stop this video. Just let it play out. Hopefully you don't have autoplay on, so no other video will play. And if you like to close out together, we'll begin to bring some movement to our fingers and our toes, making circles with our wrists and ankles in one direction and the opposite. Bring the ankles towards one another and the arms up and overhead, taking a final full body stretch for this practice together. And exhale with the audible sigh. You might bend the knees, placing the soles of the feet on the mat. And roll to your side of choice, letting your head rest on that bottom arm. Coming into fetal pose, the first yoga pose we ever knew. For a few breaths. And this is another place that is really soothing and relaxing for some folks. And so if your body does not want to move, listen and stay here. But if you are ready to rise, we'll press into our hands and our legs to come up to an easy seat. Whew. Oh, I could have definitely stayed laying down. Let's go ahead and take a collective breath together. Hands beginning at the sides, and inhale, sun arms up. Let the palms touch, and exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Thank you. Wonderful job. I hope you feel rested and ready for bed or rest, sleep, whatever it is. Let me know in the comments if you're up, or come back to later to comment. What posture did you notice the rest really start to settle in for you? What posture did you notice the rest really began to settle in for you? Before we go, check the links in the descriptions to access longer classes, to buy me a coffee if you like, to shop my recommended yoga essentials, and/or if you like my Black Wall Street t-shirts, you can shop these as well. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I look forward to seeing you in the next video of the Yoga for Stiff, Achy, and Inflexible Bodies series.